I'm here. I was fighting with my computer.
Oh,
How are you? How is everyone?
and how are you?
Good. Welcome you guys to the Elephant Challenge. I see some familiar faces. Thanks for coming, everyone. Okay. Who is new? Let us know in the chat. With the Elephant Challenge for you newbies, what we're going to do is we're going to make something for the newbies to watch so we don't have to go over this every single time. But if there's anybody new here, we want to get you acquainted. So nobody's new. Nobody's saying so in the chat. Stacy, are you new? You just raised your hand. Hi, Stacy. Welcome. Okay, so for this, we'll get started. We start every morning off with an intention. I'll let Jen do that. And then I'll just give you guys like a high level situation of like the Elephant Challenge and what this group does. And then we'll dive into it. How does that sound? Jen, you want to kick us off with your intention?
Yeah, so mine and Carly's intention is to show up weekly for you guys. And we firmly believe that financial freedom is available to everyone. And we want to show you that through real estate.
Yes. So Jen and I, we're all about setting intentions and like the mindset of stuff. And a side thing that we do is we have a podcast about it's called Building an Empire State of Mind. It's all focused on like the mindset of successful people and the things that we have to overcome and everything. And one of the things that we do say is to set an intention. It really just like, it helps our mindset a lot. So that's why we set the intention. And we are here. Jen and I are both sub 2 students and Gators. I'm a sub 2 mastermind student. I think Jennifer's about to be a sub 2 mastermind student. And so a little bit about us. She's been in real estate for about 3 years, but she's absolutely crushing it. Like she's been in it for like 10 years. I've been in for a little bit longer, mostly traditional, just got into creative. And so what we do is we want to help you guys. We want to JV with you guys and help you get your first deals. So the way we do that, Elephant Challenge, the way it works, if you guys haven't, you should probably have if you're here, you've gotten into the circle community. We have all sorts of leaders. We say date the leaders. Get to know somebody that you jive with and that you like, and the times work, and you're like, I like these people. I could hang out with them. And then we all train you in our own ways and give lists. Some help. We're doing agent outreach right now. And we want to help you get your first deal. So we get you guys started, and then we come each meeting. What we're going to do is there's a lot of basics that go over, and we have so many new people each week. So we're going to make a little course for you guys to watch first. It's super basics, like how to pick your market, how to find a deal, how to call an agent, like basic stuff. And then we give you guys homework, and you guys, you bring it here and we talk about your deals. If it's deals, your obstacles, we'll call agents live. You guys will all learn. And then if you guys are like, I think I have a deal and I want to JV with you guys, you'll submit Jen, will you drop the link? You'll submit a lead to us. And so whenever you work with an elephant leader, so there's no competition between all of us. We all have the same payout for baby elephants. You guys can earn while you learn. We want you to earn. But once you bring one deal to a leader, or a leader gives you a list, stick with that leader. Because you just don't want too many hands in the pot trying to help, and that it just gets confusing. So if you submit a deal to us, it's just like, okay, it's not forever. It's a JV agreement. It's like, okay, I'm working with you guys and I want to work with you guys, and then just stick with a group. So once you guys have found a group that you like and you're submitting deals, as long as you're like, someone came on here and was like, oh, I've been in Jose's group and I have a question about a deal that I submitted to him. And I'm like, I don't know anything about that. Jose and I are friends and we're all on the same team because we're leaders, but you want to stick with Jose for that. So just date around until you find someone. And then if you submit a deal and you're like, I don't like how that worked, I want to go to someone else, go for it. We don't assign groups. You guys just do it for yourself. So that's kind of how it works. And then, so our homework each week is like, we see action takers, and we are going to have all tomorrow. I'm setting aside all tomorrow to do stuff for this stuff. We're going to set Zooms up for the action takers, and we're going to go over and we're going to call the agents together and we'll record it. So when you guys submit a deal, we hold your hand the whole way. We bring the documents. We do the negotiating. What else do? We bring in a TC. It's like, so all the things.
Yeah.
And so you guys are going to get paid. So I just want to lay an expectation for any leader that you guys work with. So one, we all have our own lives, our own families, and our own businesses. And this is a volunteer basis. So while you do get to make money, we will make money too. We have systems in place that we're putting money into. Zoom costs money. So a lot of this money goes into this. And so I just want to set an expectation. So we will pay you out on this. And this is free. You guys, a lot of people will, like people like Pace, will have you guys pay to do this, and then they'll upsell you on shit. Nothing is getting upsold. It's just pure value. So we have had a lot of people. We had one person bring us a deal, and then they're like, I don't like the pay structure. And we're going to be completely honest with you guys and transparent up front. We'll find it and put it in there for you guys. And then they're like, well, I'm just going to do it with someone else. So I want to set expectations. We all will make money from this. Yes, we will make money from this. This is free for you guys. Second thing is, if you guys want to hold it for yourself, we also want to set an expectation. Somebody came in here and they had it was a lot of money, and we're like, okay, it is creative finance and it is good, but all of this, we have to pay for a TC, which is a good $2,500. We have to pay for our CRM, which is about $1,000 a month. We have to pay for a lot of stuff. So it's not like it's just going to be free for everybody. So if you want to bring something to us where you want help getting creative, we're happy to help, but we want to set the expectation, but there is still a fee with us. And then we'll just knock off what you guys would make as a baby elephant on there. So I just want to be I want to set expectations. I don't want anybody to feel like they got. I want to be completely transparent. But any questions from you guys that are new? We're really, really happy that you're here. And what we'll do until we get those things set up that kind of go over the things, I see people that are that have probably brought deals. I see Dustin on here. He's a repeat customer, which is awesome. We love it. So if he brings a deal up here, we'll be like, okay, we'll go over what's the motivation? Why did you find it? Why did you pick this market? So it will be helpful for you newbies to kind of see the path that the person that did their homework took to get here. Okay. Any questions, you guys? Walt says, should I get a corporate setup to get paid? Well, you can if you want. I would wait till you get your first deal. You can if you want. I don't want you guys to spend a bunch of money to get into this and then be like, this really wasn't my thing, and I just spent $500 on getting a corporate setup. So, Walt, that's up to you, but it's not required. If you're like, yeah, I'm killing it, I got 3 deals done and I'm going to do this again. Yes, definitely set up your corporate setup for sure. But we don't want you guys putting more money into this than you need to. Nicole says, is there a specific criteria for properties? Yes, there's yes and no. There is. We do like to have things that are in hot market. So you want to begin with the end in mind, right? So I don't know if Grant's here, but I always use this as an example, and he came on and was like, oh my gosh, it wasn't for him. He's from North Dakota. And before I was always saying, okay, you don't want to get something in Fargo, North Dakota, because there's not a lot of people moving there. It's not a hot market. Your buyer pool is a lot smaller. Also, same thing. Think about the buyer pool. You want the average. So if you're going to Beverly Hills, California and looking for at a $20 million deal, that's awesome if you got it in creatively, but how many buyers are there for that? Versus if you went to the median home price in LA County and searched for something there, your buyer pool is a lot wider. So begin with the end in mind. Be like, don't be like, well, I know Pace is buying $1 million property for creative in this place. Unless you know that that buyer is for sure into that property, I would not go down the rabbit hole. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm saying you can do whatever you want, but we want your work to be worth your while. So I'd hate to go to all that work and you're like, shit, now that I don't have anyone to buy my 20 million Beverly Hills property. So,
Buyer.
so it's good. Get hot markets where people are migrating to. You can like just Google, like, where are people moving to? I can tell you it's like the Carolinas down to Georgia, Florida, all lower half of the United States. Red markets are better, red states, because not for politics, but they're more landlord friendly. So there's more investors there. We want people that are open to creative. So why don't we'll go through people that have done their homework, which is find a market, find a motivated seller, call the agent. And if they haven't called the agent, that's okay. We'll call them together and we'll go through all the things. So you guys will find out on this. Manuel says, should I stop contacting someone that's in pre-foreclosures and out of state? I called them a few times and texted, but no response. So Manuel, if you want to go over, we're focusing on agent outreach right now. So it's like a whole different conversation and a whole different demographic when pre-foreclosures is great, but you can do pre-foreclosures. You can submit them and we'll work with you on that. It's a whole different conversation and it's a whole different tactic with them that we can coach you on. They are a great market. Anthony Hughes says, my inquiry is in regards to FSBO, which is for sale by owner. For sale by owner are historically good to practice on. You're not probably going to get a lot of sales from them. The motivation isn't there as much. A lot of them, they're like, yeah, I'll sell my house on Zillow for $800,000 over list and let it sit on Zillow for 245 days. So they are awesome to practice on. If you find it and you want to do it, we're happy to help you with the deal. If you find a motivated seller, motivations are high days on market, dropped the price several times. They say motivated in the listing, bring offer, stuff like that. So we want to be people's option Z, not option A. So we want them to be super motivated. They put it on market. Market's like, no. They've lowered the price. The market's still like, no. They have done everything and they're like, shh, this thing isn't moving. Another thing would be like, they've moved for another job. They're paying 2 payments. So we want somebody with high motivation. So let's go to Dustin, see what he found. Excuse me. I'm just getting over being sick, you guys. Dustin, and then we'll kind of go through and see what everybody else has done and we'll walk through with them. How does that sound? Can you unmute, Dustin? Let's see if you can. There you go. Oh, I think I accidentally muted you as soon as you unmuted. Sorry.
That's okay. Can you hear me?
Hi. I can. How are you?
Good. So, hush. So I'm still getting used to everything. I watched Wholesale Hotline and they really helped me with the condition, timeline, motivation, price, active listening, confirm and approve, answer a question, ask a question, really solidified that. So I feel comfortable now. I talked to lots of agents. I think it was the last one I submitted. The agent's Ben Grotsky. I actually just met him and the meeting popped up on my phone and I was in the city like 30 minutes out and my alarm was for 30 minutes and I was like, oh my goodness, we shook hands and I was like, I have to go right now. And he's like, make sure and send me the LOI. And I was like, okay, I will. But I just took off and I was like, I'm sorry, man. But his now that I'm getting comfortable with it, the motivation for his sellers they are in Florida and they need
Good market. It's a hot market.
right. They are in
Good.
Florida. They've already moved. The
Okay.
house has been pulled on and off. They pulled it off to do some updating or some paint and some flooring, put it back on, nothing. Pulled it off, put it back on. So this dude is a unicorn. He said to me, I asked him about creative or seller finance, and he said, I don't think they will, but they should. He said sub 2 or anything. He said, and he brought up sub 2, and I was like, wow, that's awesome. So I was like, this guy knows what he's talking about. I need to meet you. And he asked me to come out and meet him for coffee. So I was like, oh, this is a win here. So hopefully he's going to be somebody who I can work with here in the future. But I had a question. Is it okay for me to change markets?
Yeah, you can do whatever your heart desires.
Okay.
You can do, you don't have to, if you want to bring us something in North Dakota, you can.
No.
It's okay. Like you can go wherever you want. If you feel like it's a deal, we'll help you. We're not going to be like, bye, Dustin. See ya. So you can do whatever you want. And I just want to go over for the newbies. So what he said was he went to Wholesale Hotline. That's a really good place. So we want to, what he was talking about, it's how you talk to sellers or agents. So you find 4 pillars: with motivation, why they're selling, timeline, condition, price. Those are the 4 pillars. He's built rapport, which we really encourage you to do. And he's like, let's meet for coffee. 3, he talked about what's a unicorn realtor. Will you tell our newbies? Is there anybody that doesn't? I don't want to waste time if you're like, shut up, Carly. We know what this is. What's a unicorn realtor, just real quick?
A unicorn is someone who is familiar with sub 2, creative finance, and all the different things that fall under that category. They are willing to work with us to help their clients get their home sold when the market is not favorable to them.
Yes. So a lot of agents, and Dina can tell you, for example, we'll call agents and they're like, that's illegal. I don't understand it. So therefore, I'm not even going to pitch it to them. Like we call them unicorn because they get sub 2, they get seller finance. Like they speak our language. They know that we're not trying to undercut them. We're on their team. So that is awesome. So you found this deal, LOI. Now what? Where are we on this deal?
I submitted it and I told him that we would, I mean, I didn't know what I was saying. I was just like, we'll send you an LOI as soon as we can, but I know you guys are busy and sick and have everything going on. But, when I was talking to him, they had it priced really high. It's a beautiful place, but they brought it down and he just mentioned to me, he said, I think they'd take 230. And it was, I think they started off at like 280 or 270, and then they've come down and now it's listed for 259, I think. But he said, I think they would take 230, and he just keeps going. And I'm like, well, how long has it been sitting? And he kind of lowballed me. He was like, oh, a month or 2. And I said, I didn't say anything, but I was like, I could see here it's about 5 months. You guys been playing with this. They just leave it sit for 30 days because it loses heat, pull it off and then put it back. So I know they've been really trying to move it. And he said that they need the money. And I said, well, why do they need the money? If they're in Florida, they're moved in and they're all happy. I said, what's their situation? He said they're needing to get caught up on bills. So I don't know if they're down there blowing credit and now the cards are coming due. And that's why they didn't want to do seller finance. But he talked them into it and texted me 2 days ago and said they are ready for seller finance. They're ready for terms of whatever kind. Send us the LOI and we'll go from there. So
Dustin did a great job. I just want you guys to know, I think Dustin joined like a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. It hasn't been that long.
Yeah.
He's showing up, he's taking action, and we tell you guys, like, get yourself into enough trouble. He's like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I said I'm going to do it, and then come to us. So this is exactly what to do. Like, this is perfect. So if you guys have submitted deals, I have to apologize. We've been getting our CRM on. We're building our team. I was going to call, and I got laid out. Like, I just slept for 4 days. So, and I'm the one that makes calls. So my plan is to work solely like the rest of this day today and all tomorrow on all of this stuff. So I'll get a lot of this caught up with you guys.
Hey, Dustin, which lead was that?
I have it here. 704 East Spring Street in Des Moines.
Okay.
I think, yes, I think I remember that one. I think I called on that one and left a message, but I'll have to look at the notes. They're all run together. So nice work. So that's exactly what just it's gonna suck at first. It's scary at first, especially when you call agents. You're like, I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about. But just get out there and be in the uncomfortable, because that's where you guys grow. So that's awesome. So this is in Iowa and they moved to Florida, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's in, it's a good part, northeast side of Des Moines, pretty good area, and they're older couple who retired. So yeah, they're down there blowing money and need some money. So they got to move this place. And it sounds like we kind of found a good one.
Yeah. So we are problem solvers. If someone asked the other day, what do I say I do? You're a problem solver. So they got a problem. Dustin did a really good job at digging into their motivation. Like, why are they motivated sellers? We know that they're gone. We don't have to wait for them to leave if we buy it. We know that they have another house, so they're probably paying double bills, 2 mortgages, and then you still got to keep the power on, and you got to keep the water on. Like, even though you're not using it, you're still paying those bills. They've lowered the price several times. It's been on the market for like 5 months. So he did a really good job. How's the condition? You probably can see the condition on
Yeah, it's beautiful. I checked on Redfin and on Privy, the pictures. They redid some floors. I mean, it's move-in ready. It's not brand new, completely remodeled, but I mean, it's move-in ready.
Amazing. Nice work, Dustin. So, I'll get with, I know I said this last time, I'll get with you afterwards. I'm just going to go. I have to look at my schedule. I think for the most part of today, I'm fairly open. So I'm going to try to get caught up on all those leads, and then we'll reach out to you. It'll be a Phoenix number that texts you guys. So
I did get a call from, I was on the phone with an agent, and then I thought it was another agent beeping in, and this guy's like, let's meet for coffee. So I didn't even look at it. Then I got done, and the agent I thought called me, and I was like, hey, Marlene, are you ready to talk about this? And she goes, I just accepted an offer. And I looked, and it was Phoenix, Arizona. And I was like, oh shit.
Oh,
So I tried calling back, and it was just a recording.
it was me. I had accidentally called you. Like, I called you for like 2 seconds, and I was like, shit, I didn't mean to call him. I meant to call the agent. So that was me calling, but
no
I
worries.
on accident. Sorry. So that was me. So that's the number that you can text us at and call us at and everything. And that's where there probably will be we got to figure out our voicemail, but nice work.
Yes.
I love it. Anything else? Do you guys have any things that you guys looked up and you guys want to call agents, and we can maybe call some agents today? Scott, you got your hand raised. What's up?
Hello.
Hi.
Sorry, I just got off the conference call with somebody, so I tried to jump over real quick. I was going to let you know, I sent you, I DM'd you in the elephant chat that regarding on Friday, I would love to be able to do a call. I've already spoken with the realtor.
Okay.
And they were interested in talking, but they wanted to do it Tuesday. And then I told them we weren't available, but I said what day would be good, and he said Friday would be good.
Okay.
But it's for a property down in Lakeland, Florida.
Okay.
It's trying to see here. They have an existing mortgage of the total price that they're asking is $327,500. They have an existing mortgage of 241 with an interest rate of 2.73.
Nice.
It says it's an FHA, but the actual agent said that he thought it was a VA, but it says FHA on Privy, so I don't know which one it actually is.
So let's talk about this.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. So what he's talking about is on Privy. We need to get a Privy so we can show people. Corey was showing us. If anybody has Privy, they can share their screen. So is there anybody that you don't know what we're talking about? So they're on Privy, we show you guys how to like look at houses that might have motivation. And then we have you guys look at some you have to take all this information with a grain of salt to see what the mortgage is. So the idea for these is we want to take them over creatively. We'll wholesale all of these is the idea. We can do cash, we can wholesale for cash, but it's going to be a lot lower than probably their asking price because there's got to be enough meat on the bone. So we like to look at the mortgage and the interest rates. So the percents that he's talking about are the interest rates and then the type of loans, which is FHA or VA. Both are eligible. We can do pretty much anything with anything. It's harder to do hard money, and it's harder to do, which is a short term, you'll see on there. And then it's impossible to do reverse mortgages when the person has died.
Okay.
That's just like, I've tried. It's not gonna happen. I was like, no, I can do it. No, you can't do it. So you want to look at the mortgages, and it's really good. So in this also, we can talk about how you can maybe find really good deals. So a lot of things that were sold within the last 2 years have super low interest rates, and that is super beneficial. They have low interest rates and no equity. What that means is they owe a lot on it. And if they were to sell it, it's about 8% of the sales price to sell it traditionally that the seller has to pay. So in a lot of these cases, they have to write a check to sell it because they got 2 agents, they got closing costs, they got taxes, they got stuff they got to pay for. So it's a lot. So what we say is, that's another thing for you guys. Don't go find an agent to show you guys houses. You guys always want to call the listing agent. And when you call, maybe we can make a call and see how it goes. Make a call and be like, hey, I'm Carly. You want to tell the agent, set expectations. I just want you to know I'm not a licensed realtor, but I buy real estate all day. I can represent myself. So therefore you're not double ending the deal. I can represent myself. You'll get your 2.5 or 3%, whatever you guys. So you set that expectation, and you want to go straight to the listing agent because you don't want anybody else in the middle because you don't want more hands in the pot. We can do everything for you, and we will. So are commercial or recreational buildings harder to acquire? Those are they're not harder to acquire. Probably easier, actually, because they're their own business as far as loans. It's just a whole different lane that we're going down. Not harder. They definitely cost more money. You need to probably raise money. Jen can talk to this a lot about how she does commercial and multifamily. And so, Jen, will you talk about how the commercial buildings are businesses in themselves and how you acquire those?
Yeah, they're just looked at differently. I would say that commercial residential, which would be like your multifamily buildings, it's actually easier to have conversations about seller financing and all of that because they're in that world. It's not their personal residence. It's all things that most of the brokers as well as the sellers have heard about before. They'll also have a better understanding of the tax advantages and why they might want to do that. Yeah, I would say there's lots of advantages in the commercial space for sure.
So yes, we can help you with that. I don't know if we'll bring it on here because on these Zooms, we want to bring it back to basics, and a lot of people are new here, and we don't want to go from crawling to pole vaulting, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So but let me know in the chat, how many of you guys, I don't want to over explain things. So I know do we have a bunch of new people here? Let me know. It's okay to be new. We know Stacy's new. Welcome. We're happy you're here. So Scott says, can I send you a copy of the write-up sheet for the information on the house we just discussed? If so, where should I send it? So to if you guys want to submit any deals, Elephant,
Okay.
she'll drop it. .aurorainvest.com.
Okay.
I'm losing my brain. Thank you, Jen. Just put it there. So yes, good job. If you guys have the ideas to get you guys in enough trouble, Rebecca's new. Welcome. So all right, Dominique, welcome. Okay, so you guys are new. I just want to make sure I'm talking to the right people and make sure. If you guys have any questions, there's no stupid questions at all. Put them in here. I know it's really kind of nerve-wracking to be in Zoom and like talking in front of people you don't know, but if you have questions, we often get carried away and we're like BMD, LOI, BPRA, QFZ. And you're just like, what are all these letters? We're going to make a glossary. So will we be making any calls? We can make calls. Is there a list that people are calling from, Walt? No. So maybe what we can do is show you guys. So we like to use Privy just because we want to do one thing. Well, for the Elephant Challenge, they use Privy.
Yeah.
We use PropStream. Don't buy PropStream. It's expensive. We don't want you guys spending money on shit. Like, let us spend money on stuff and help you. If you want to, you can. If you want Privy, start with privy.com, use promo code PACE, 20% off the first month. Not required. If you want it, go there. But we have a PropStream that we can use. So yeah, glossary would be awesome. Here, let me send you guys this. This is Jerry Norton's that I just kind of lifted. And so I'm not taking accountability for any of this, but this is going to be super helpful for you guys. REI, can I drop? Let's see if I can drop things in the chat. I think I can. Oops. When you guys direct message me, when I put things in the chat, it only goes to one person. So I just went to one person. Let's try this. All right, so it's in the chat. I'll bring it up. You guys can go through this. I'll share it with you. Bridge loan. What's a borrower? What's a broker? What's a BRRRR? We just talked about LOI. Let's see if LOI is in here. It has to be. This is Jerry Norton's. It's not mine. Is it all? Oh my gosh. It's LOI. No, there's not. There's no LOI. LOI is
Is it under a letter maybe? Oh no. Crazy.
Why did I just letter of intent? I just lost it. Letter of intent. It's like an informal offer. And I'm going to show you guys something else too. Let me stop sharing. So there's a lot of resources just so like the Elephant Challenge is just like always ongoing. You can watch the old ones. Don't feel like you have to get started, but Pace does a few and then we lead it. So let me share my screen again. Do I not have a screen open? Okay. So if you go to the Elephant Challenge in our circle, so Dustin was like, get yourself in trouble. Here's a script for calling foreclosures. We did foreclosures for a while. Here is a wholesale contract. This is everything that's been shared within the Elephant Challenge ever, and you guys can use it. So LOIs. If you guys want to submit an LOI, we'll walk you. We hold your hand through this. So this will be like, hey, thanks. We're sending this information. Here's our offer. Finance, seller finance. You're not going to do deposit to escrow 0. That's just needs to be filled in. So it's just basically the terms of your offer and you just send it over. So this is, if you're like, yeah, I want to do an LOI, and Dustin's like, I can't wait for Carly. I just want to go over there and do it. He can download this, and Dustin, you can just like reach out to me and be like, hey, can I get some help with this real quick and just review it? Once you guys submit an offer, we have a Slack where we can just go back and forth with you guys on this. So we don't have to like make an appointment, and it can just be instant. So, use this. This is a good resource for you guys to use. Let's see. Is REI terms on the Elephant Challenge? Somebody actually shared that on the Elephant Challenge. I'm going to make one of Pace's and make it for our own. And then I'm going to put this in the resources. This is Jerry's right now, and I can post it and just credit Jerry. I don't think he'd mind. I don't think he pays for it. Jerry and Pace are pals. So I'll post this in there for you guys, for everybody as well. Did anybody else? Let's see, Brett, what's up?
Hey Carly, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm
Thanks
doing
for
great.
coming. Good.
Yeah, of course. I've been in Kevin's groups for the last couple of weeks, but I won't be able to make his today, so I figured I'd jump in and ask a topical question.
Perfect.
I have been like trying to negotiate this property that's active, and they've came back and pretty much said that they're firm on list price. And I think it's a deal at list, but I'm just worried that like I've gotten in contact with one buyer who is actively looking and has a property that's currently active that it's a similar property, and they bought it for more than what this one is listed for previously, and they're actively looking, obviously, but I'm like concerned that if I bring it to them and they're my only buyer, I bring it to them at list asking for more than that they're just gonna be like, what are you doing, kid? Like, we could have got that, because I've heard that situation before. So I guess I'm wondering, like, should I try and just find a couple other buyers who have bought for more, like similar properties for more than that, so I have like some competition there, or kind of jump the gun and see what happens with this first buyer I have?
So I love what you're doing. You're beginning with the end in mind. You're like, do I have a buyer?
Yeah.
I love that. Begin with the end in mind. Think all the way to the end. If you don't know how you're going to get there, that's what we're here for. So, as far as you think you have a buyer, but they're like, what are you doing? We could have gotten that kid. Well, if they could have, but they haven't. And that's like a limiting mindset that you have. And it's very common. And, there's so much room. Like everybody could have gotten everything, but they just didn't. And there's just so much that there's enough for everyone. So yes, they could have, but they didn't. And you did. And you know that they're a buyer. So don't worry about that as much. If they want it, they want it. If it's a deal, great. And there's a lot of things like people bring to me. Like I could have found a lot of deals that people bring to me, but I don't have time, And so the fact that you are providing value and you're like, I got the time, I'll call the agent, I'll get in a contract, I'll get it. I'll save you all this time on negotiating and talking and under contract. And like, all you have to do is pay me an assignment fee and be on your merry little way. And you have a deal. And I got paid for my time. So don't worry about that. 1, 2, great that you're thinking about buyers. Also, when you JV with one of the elephant leaders on this, we are all sub-2 students. We have a wide network of people. We can help you. We call it dispo. If you haven't heard that yet, like disposition it, like get it sold. So, there's also the Creative Real Estate with Pace Morby Facebook group where a lot of people dispo. If it's a deal and it's sub-2 or seller finance or if it's a cash deal, very cheap, then you're likely, and it's in a good market, you're likely going to have a buyer. So that's why when we're telling you guys to look at markets, we're like, go to Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, Texas. That's where everybody's moving. So you're going to have a wider buyer pool. So as long as it's,
I moved from Milwaukee to Indiana because I ran into that. Yeah.
Great market.
I have a couple of buyers in like Waukesha that I still have relationships with, like realtors and stuff, but it's just like a little like it's a bigger pool in Indiana, I feel like.
Yes. Indy is a really good market. It's a great market to invest in. There's a lot of investors in there. So, and it's okay. Like, Dustin was just like, can I move my market? If you guys are like, F Wisconsin, I'm going to Florida and tomorrow I'm going to Texas. Like, you guys don't have to stay in one place. Like, as you're looking for things, just like, it's just better. You just have a better buyer pool. And then what was your last question? I'm trying to get all of the questions. Did I answer all of them?
Yeah, I think so. Basically, like I guess I'm just or like the other question was I see a few other fix and flips that they aren't under LLCs and Privy, but it looks like flips based off of condition and everything like that. So I've reached out to the listing agents to try and see if they were flippers that basically bought at a higher ARV than some of the other investors around here. So basically my question was like, should I wait to get this under contract until I have a few more buyer relationships? That way I can send, no.
Just you have the right mindset already. You're like,
Mhm.
you're already thinking about buyers. You're like, I have a bigger buyer pool. Just get it under contract. JV with Kevin or us or whoever you want to, whatever elephant leader, we all have the same stuff. We can help you.
Mhm.
And we'll bring the documents, we'll hold your hands, we'll get a TC involved. We always use a TC, which gets paid out by the buyer. We don't pay for it.
Mhm.
And we'll help you find buyers. Put in the creative group, Kevin or I or Jen or whoever will put it in the sub 2 group. We'll help you find a buyer. You're already at the right mindset. You have a good market and people open to creative or cash at a discounted price for wholesaling. Something that you did say was flippers. So something that I tell everybody is you want to look at it and look on Privy or have somebody look up on PropStream or something. Look at the loans, because if they're short-term loans, it's going to be harder to do hard money with these because they have you can't take over their loan payment sub 2. These are hard money lenders. They want in and out. Like it's not a 30-year mortgage at 2%. Like they're good for 30 years. These people are like, I need my money out. And so it's kind of easy to see flippers. It doesn't mean that all flipped houses have hard money on them. It's just going to be harder to get them under contract because they're trying to, they got people to pay back. They're investors too. Not impossible, but I would stay away from hard money.
Okay.
And
yeah, I think he owns it outright. At least this property I'm looking at. Yeah. He's an investor as well. He just didn't want to fix and flip it.
And that's perfect. Those are great people. They're investors. They're talking your language. They get sub 2 or seller finance most of the time. Those are great people to work with.
Mm-hmm.
So
awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay. I appreciate you answering my question.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, Brett.
Yeah, of course. Thanks.
All right. Grant, what is up? Did you hear me talking about you earlier in your North Dakota?
I did. I commented like, of course she's getting North Dakota. That's why I had to stop using North Dakota. And
it's okay. But it was just really funny because I was using North Dakota as an example and then you popped in. And so we just thought it was funny. But how are you, Grant?
I'm good. I am trying to build my pipeline. So I had submitted a couple of leads and we don't have to get into those specifically, but I just had some generic questions around those because I'm sure maybe other people have stumbled across the same thing. So one of the properties is actually in an area in Idaho that I believe you were buying properties up in like Coeur d'Alene area.
Yes, that's a great market.
So it's an interesting situation. It's only been on the market for 2 weeks, but they've already price dropped it and there's a ton of motivation. So in talking to the seller, the listing agent, she sold the current sellers this home 4 years ago. They're now getting a divorce and that's the main motivation. The She said she couldn't go too into details just at the moment, but she said like this house has to be sold, whether in some capacity, in order for their divorce to process, and neither of the two sides are allowed to have like any communication. So the agent's kind of having to filter between both. They have a little bit of equity. It's not a ton. It's a sub 4% interest rate on it. I put all the details in the lead. The only two things are that it does need a little bit of light work. The agent estimates no more than $15,000.
Okay.
Just some trim, maybe some paint, nothing major. It's in a great area. It is a 3-car garage that has an RV door, so definitely a little different and adds to the value. And the backyard was completely redone with a rock retaining wall and a nice concrete pad with a little gondola. So there's definitely some value to be had. And when I was doing comps on it, like they have it current, like the current asking price after the price drop gives about $90,000 worth of equity compared to what the ARV would be once it's all fixed up. So the only is because of the divorce situation, like she's like, they're definitely motivated and they're open to all offers, but they do have to have some cash in hand to allow the processing of the divorce and with how things have to work there. So I don't know if I've heard Pace talk about a hybrid deal. I don't know if that would be good for a hybrid deal, but I was just curious if there's anything in like a divorce situation that would be like a good question to have to ask agents when we're speaking to them.
You always have the best. You guys always have the best questions. Great question. Divorce proceedings, ask if the court is requiring that the loan be out of their names.
Okay.
So, sometimes the court decides, sometimes it's just like they can decide, but they have to agree on something in a divorce, especially a divorce like this, where it sounds like they're not on speaking terms. So getting two divorced people that aren't speaking to agree on something is tough. No, it's not impossible. So just, have you soft pitched creative? Like, are they open to something along the lines of seller finance or subject to?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I didn't mention subject to. I just asked the agent.
Perfect.
I said, totally understand the situation that they're in. Do you think they'd be open to like seller financing something? And that's when she said, well, this has to be sold for the divorce to be able to even be processed. So they would need some money in hand. And so she's like, you'd probably have to have, at least 50%, maybe a little bit less, just depending on the structure. But she says at the same time, they also just want to get this done and over with. So they're listening to anything that they get.
So let me ask you this. If they have no equity and they were to sell it on market, how much would they get? Let's say we were traditional buyers. We have an agent. Can we look up this address on, so I can just tell you my thinking? Because here's what my thinking is going. If they want 50%, but they have no equity, I don't think they'd even get 50% of the value.
No, they do have some equity. It's just not a ton of equity. I think it's probably got maybe 60 or 70 grand of equity.
Okay. That's good. That's good. Okay. Do they need, so a good questions to ask. Will the court let them do something creative? 1, 2, do they need money? Yes. How much?
Sure.
Find that out. Sounds like do you know how much they want of the 60 grand?
I don't. I was just asking like, hey, are they even open? Will they payments, that kind of thing?
That's all you got to do. That's perfect.
Yeah.
So then we'll go in and be like, okay, and we'll do it with you. And so you guys are completely, everything's transparent with you guys. You can see the documents, you can hear the conversations. We hold your hand through the whole thing. So you'd submit it, which you did, and we'll go talk to them and we'll say, okay, let's talk about this. Here's how we do it. I want to give you an offer, but I want to give you a solid offer. Like, what is going to work? So I can give you an offer. A lot of people are like, just send me an offer. We had one guy be like, he's like, give me an offer on every situation. No, we're not throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what will stick. So yeah.
The other one that I had submitted is it's kind of like in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. So it's a current Airbnb. It's a single family house. It's an interesting one where the owner is getting rid of it because they just have too many projects going on and they're ready to sell it. So a couple things, they have an arbitrage person in place who is running the Airbnb itself. So the pity on the property is $2,450 currently, and the arbitrage person pays them $3,000 a month, so they cash flow $550. And then the arbitrage person, there's nothing in place that they have to remain. They would just have to be bought out if we decide that we don't want them to continue at the same $3,000 rate. However, on the property, it's on a couple of acres and it's about 5 minutes from Dollywood, 10 minutes from Pigeon Forge. So it's a really popular area. They get a ton of bookings. The arbitrage person is on track to do about 75 grand in bookings this year. And here's the thing. The agent said that the arbitrage person, they do an okay job. Anybody who knows what they're doing could go and probably make a little bit more than they're making. And the property has 2 concrete pads that were put in place so that they could set up glamping tents. And they bought the seller of the property bought glamping tents at $50,000, is willing to sell them in the transaction for $15,000. And then on top of that, there is a little RV space that has some RV spots that could also be rented out. So if you didn't want to have to buy out the arbitrage person right away, you could leave that cash flowing $550 and then get the tents and the RV area set up and increase your cash flow just with that. But they said, however the person wants to do it, the owner of the property itself doesn't have a preference. They just want to move on from the property.
Okay, so let's talk about what is arbitrage.
So the way I've understood it is arbitrage is where the seller of the property who owns it, they have an agreement in place with a third party who provides all the furniture, and they list that property on Airbnb, VRBO, and they manage all of the bookings. And then they have a payment arrangement of whatever is negotiated to the seller. So like if we were to buy them out, they would have to come pick up all their furniture, get it all out of there, and then they would be free and clear and they'd go find something else that they do, but they don't actually own the property itself.
Perfect. And then you said the PITI, which is PITI. What does that stand for the newbies?
Oh.
Do you remember? It's okay if you don't.
Oh, I do. I was giving them a chance. So it's principal, interest, taxes, and insurance.
Yes. So it's the whole mortgage payment. When you pay your mortgage, there's the principal to the bank, how much you pay to the bank, the interest, taxes that you have to pay to the city, and insurance that you have on the property is all lumped into one situation. So I just wanted to clarify those terms for the noobs. That's awesome. So what we found is Grant has a already performing STR, which is short-term rental, Airbnb, VRBO, and they just want it gone. It's good for a short term because we know that it's performing and it's within a great distance to tourist attractions. Motivation. Why do they want to sell? They've got this $3,000 coming in for free, pretty much. They're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Do you know why they want to sell?
The agent didn't say anything other than the person has too many projects going on, and they just want to move on from the property. I did also, because of my Nashville snafu, I made sure to ask if they were selling it in the LLC, and they are not. So because technically none of the Airbnb data sits with the owner of the property. It's all with the person. They're literally just doing a regular property transaction because they have other properties in the LLC where they hold this one.
So what he was talking about is when he's looking at short-term rentals, he has been, And people want to sell it at a higher price because they're like, it comes with the furniture. It's a business. Y'all switch over the listing. So if you guys get something like that, they're selling it as a business. They need to sell it like a business. So we need to have profit and loss statements. We need to see how much they're spending on air conditioning and power and internet, and how much is coming in and how much is cleaning and how much is it to run this business? What's going in and out? They can't just be like, we net about $6,000 a month. Like, okay, prove it.
Trust us.
Prove it. We
Agent-
believe you when you prove it. If it's a
That
business.
That other agent, like FYI, has still not answered my calls since we asked for the NDA.
Oh, the one in Nashville?
Yeah.
Oh, see, and you guys are going to get this a lot. We get this. Corey got it with our friend. She was all up. And everyone gets, it's good just to set expectations. You guys don't let it discourage you. You get people, they're like, I got this. It's like a roller coaster. This thing is, it's like an emotional freaking roller coaster. You're like, oh, they're not responding. Oh, like goes says, oh, they got back to us. Oh, is it a deal? Oh, it's not. And then they just stop. They just flat ghost you. And so that's fine. Keep following up with them. Keep letting them ghost you. A good thing that people say is, when you get ghosted, I saw this string in sub 2, like the things you say when you get ghosted to get them to reply. It's like, I'm sorry, did I say something to offend you? Or that's the only one I can think of off the top of my head.
Good one.
But keep following up with them and keep your eyes on this, because these agents, a lot of them, they just don't get it. And then they get in, they're just like, we don't want to send them anything insulting. So, so we, just keep following up with them, and then they might get insulted and they get feelings get involved and they cold shoulder you, which is whatever. Let that keep reaching out. If they still keep ghosting you, if you're still not getting anything, keep those receipts. I mean, like, I tried to call your agent 85 times and here's proof. And you can go to skip trace the seller. Like we always tell you guys, this is a relationship business. Don't be like, oh, I'm just going to go straight to the seller and skip the agent. Like we were talking about with unicorn agents, you want to build relationships with them. You want to get them paid. You want them to bring you more deals. If you get these people like the ghosters and it's something you really genuinely want, and you think it's a good deal, then be like, listen, I'm trying to get a hold of your agent. It's against the law for them not to present every offer.
Yeah. Speaking of unicorns real quick, the third lead that I submitted was also in Tennessee. And it's from a unicorn agent, or it's listed with a unicorn agent who isn't a sub 2 student, but has heard of the sub 2 community and mentioned that this specific property, it's a 3-bed, 3-bath, it's investor owned. They're an out-of-state investor. And they had long-term tenants in it. And then those tenants moved out and they did some updates and they just wanted to, sell the property, not interested in being a landlord anymore. And so the agent actually had said, hey, this would be a great Morby method deal. And I was like, I didn't tell them, but in my head, I'm like, I have no idea what that is, but I'm going to say, oh, awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
So willing
That's
to work.
awesome. So they know pace. They get it.
Of pace.
Morby method is like where you're like, okay, I have 50% equity. So I'll sub to you my 50, let's say it's $100,000 for property. Like, okay, I have a $50,000 loan on it, which yes, you can take over, but it's only $50,000. And you need to bring another $50,000 cash because that's my equity. And a hybrid deal would be like, let's seller finance that. Let me pay that other 50,000 over X amount of time. A Morby method, and they're like, I want my cash now. And you're like, okay, fine. You go to the bank, you go get a loan for $50,000 at 8,000% or whatever it is these days, and you pay them. So Morby methods are just a little bit tougher right now because of the high interest rates, but it doesn't mean they're not good deals. So he's saying likely they have a lot of equity and they're fine for doing a sub 2 of like whatever equity they have or whatever the loan is. And then you go get a loan on that other percentage.
Okay.
we can still do Morby methods. Like we just have to make sure it pencils and it underwrites.
Yeah,
Which we'll work with you on.
it's definitely a popular market.
Yes. You're getting a good market, which is great for short-term rentals. Maybe we should do a Zoom on exit strategies. So exit strategies, like what would you do with the house? Short-term rentals, midterm rentals are like nurses, doctors, someone that's renting a furnished house for like 3 to 6 months, under a year.
Remote workers.
A pad split
Yep.
is something. They take a lot of the fees. It's a company that rents your house out by the rooms. So you get you get a pretty decent income. There's so many different things that you can do.
Pad split might not be bad because it does have 3 bedrooms that all have their own bathroom. So that could potentially be one.
That's a good one. That's good. Oh, Kristen asked a great question. Can gators help with the Morby method? So, and I saw Kristen say, I think that you said that you were interested in this deal. So let's say Kristen's interested in this deal. Hi, Kristen, and you're a gator. Let's say. So if you want this deal, if you want it for you, you could just bring the cash if you had it. Or if you wanted to do a gator situation, you could be like, I'll go in with you on it. I'll bring the money that you need. I want X amount of equity. Until you pay me back, and I want the money back, and then I want X amount of equity. So you can gator this. Like, does anybody not know what gator is? Because let me know in the chat. It's okay if you don't. I just don't want to go down this rabbit hole of what gator is, and you guys are like, what the hell is this woman talking about? Okay, nobody's saying they know. It's another mentorship that Pace has on what is gator. Perfect. Thank you. It's okay. Kristen, you're a gator. Why don't you tell us what gator is? I'll unmute you. Let us know. So I'm not the only one talking.
Hey, everybody. I have hamburgers cooking in the background and kids crying. So I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, you can. And we get you. If you have to drop and go, we get it wholeheartedly.
So gators are awesome because we have a whole repertoire of ways that we can help fund deals. And we love to come in and do short-term funding, especially for wholesalers who need earnest money deposits to get escrow started. Sometimes wholesalers are doing so much volume that they just don't have a lot of liquid cash to open up escrow for the different opportunities that they're coming in with. So we help with that. And then we help people do gap funding if they're working on a fix and flip. We help find private money lenders too for longer lending, but generally we're in the sphere of anywhere from like a couple weeks up to 3 months. We will go longer, we'll do other types of deals, but we're kind of those people who come in to fill the gap with what hard money lenders won't cover, or what private money lenders don't want to do. We come in for those micro loans, not micro in terms of how much you're necessarily putting into it, but just in terms of the time frame. That's
good. Yes. And so Gator, you guys are always going to start learning different strategies as you're in there. So soon we have double closes right now. There's EMD. If you need somebody, Gators are great for, if you guys get if we get a deal under contract for you, and let's say we need $5,000 EMD, earnest money deposit, to be like, here's the $5,000. And if we cancel this sale after the due diligence period to make sure it's all good, then you get to keep our $5,000 for wasting your time. So that's what EMD is. And Gators can come in and be like, here's $5,000. So if Kristen could help, if you guys have a deal under contract, you're like, I don't have $5,000 to put down on earnest money. Call Kristen, call a Gator and be like, hey, do you have $5,000 for this? And she's like, yeah, but you got to give me $5,000 back. You got to give me $3,000 back. Blah, 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 blah. She has to make money on her money. She's just not loaning money out of the goodness of her heart. She needs to make money on her money too. Brandy's a Gator too. There's so many Gators. If you guys we won't go down the Gator rabbit hole. If you guys have questions about Gator, I'm the Gator community manager for PACE and I kind of lead them. So reach out to me. You can ask me, you can ask Kristen, you can ask Brandy, you can ask anybody. But yes. So Gators can help. So you guys are going to start learning soon. Gator 3.0 is helping businesses. So for business loans, also for JVing for equity partners. So absolutely Gators can help with this. And if you guys need money, and let's say Grant wants this, but he's like, I don't have $50,000. And Kristen says she does, and she wants in on this. You guys can make a whole business out of this together if you guys want to. So I think she got a little one, so which is good. Okay, I have to go to the bathroom. I'm gonna let Jen take over for just a second, but Manuel, I'll be right back. Okay, but keep talking. I can hear you.
Are you gonna let her? Okay, thanks.
Hey Jen,
Hey,
just a I
Oh,
was
yeah.
say just a heads up on the elephant link. I don't know if I'm loading it wrong, but sometimes when I go to submit a lead, like it'll skip like steps 4, 5, and 6. So like I get through the first 3 where I enter information, but then it doesn't ask for the rest of it. So just an FYI there.
I think it's dependent on what you answer. Let me just 1 second.
So I just wanted to
So
make sure everything was coming through okay.
yeah, so if you hit that you don't have the mortgage details, it'll skip certain questions because they're all relating to the mortgage. Like, so if you don't know the PITI and stuff like that, we're not going to make you answer no and blah, blah, blah. So if you hit yes, it'll prompt you for those other steps. But if you hit no, then it skips you to the end. Yeah,
Okay.
it's all purpose.
Awesome. Look forward to hearing from you guys.
Yeah. Hi, Manuel.
Hi. Can you hear me fine?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just at work, probably echo. But just want to thank the group because I end up finding a couple deals. Well, one for my parents because they just end up closing on a house that they built, so they're trying to find a place for put their money in.
Nice.
Because of that, I was able to look for a property and find something for them. So something en route for them so they can work on. Honestly, that's the only reason why I want to say hi, thank you, hello to the community.
You don't have a question? No?
Kinda. Like, do you guys look for people that buy land deals also?
Yeah, there's buyers that are looking for land.
Okay. Yeah. Do you know in Washington? Because I was talking to a realtor because initially I was gonna try to get this deal for one of my buyers, but he decided that it was too much work and there's not enough money to make out of it.
Yeah.
And honestly, I took a look at it yesterday, and yeah, I agree with them. It's basically a teardown.
Yeah.
But
So as a developer myself, I would say that it's the same as the single family, like stick to the markets that are landlord friendly, because those are the ones where you can walk into the county or the city and make changes without a bunch of like legislation and permits and processes behind it. Washington would be a more challenging state to develop in, whereas if you go into Texas or, you know, a bigger landlord friendly state like that, there's going to be more developers just because they're very pro development. They're trying to increase the economy. They're welcoming people's business in there.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That was the only question I had in mind. All right. Thank you.
Thanks. Mario.
Hi, everyone.
How's it going?
Pretty good. I'm new to the group.
Welcome.
Thanks. I've been working for a few months, trying to get my first sub 2 deal.
Yeah.
Haven't gotten it yet, but I will. I'm working with a group in Texas with Myron Briley. I don't know if anybody knows him.
Yeah.
But anyway, trying to get my first deal. And a couple questions. What days is this this meeting go on? Every day or?
No, so we do ours Mondays at noon Pacific Standard Time, Wednesdays at 9 Pacific Standard, and then Fridays at 12 Pacific Standard.
Okay. All right. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah.
Okay, great. A question is what's the best way for me to find expired listings? Is there,
So
do I just search?
Yeah. So expired, you would need to either like have privy or prop stream or be in touch with an agent. We've just been focusing on direct to agent calls. So properties that are on market, but have just, are sort of at that like 90 days plus and are getting ready to expire. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've been searching for, but yeah, I've mostly been talking to agents.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't gotten. I'm still looking for my first deal.
Yeah.
You can
So
also-
oh,
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I made this document basically just outlining like how to pick a market, how to talk to agents, what you're trying to find. But I would really encourage staying in those landlord friendly states, the red states, and looking in like big metros. There are tons of listings all the time. And then, yeah, it'll take a little while just to try and find like agents who are on board. I don't know if you're keeping like a Google Sheets list or something, but if an agent says no, just like write them down and then make sure you're following up. As those days on market get longer and longer, they're going to run out of options, right? So then maybe you'll become their option.
Yeah. Is that where can we get that? Can we get that list? That document?
Yeah, the document I just put in the chat there. So it's a PDF that you should be able to open, and it just
Yeah,
talks
got
about
it.
like the different filters to use and like Redfin or, Zillow or realtor.com in order to find those listings, and then hopefully just sort of find their motivation through the agents and everything.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
I got a
So-
quick question. Sorry. When you're done.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. What was somebody I asked it in the chat, but nobody. So can you tell me a little bit about the Morby method? How's that? I think I heard of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so Carly just went over it quickly. I don't think we should get too far into it just because like we're focusing on direct to agent, but Morby method is when you sub to a portion of the loan and then you get a bank loan for the rest of the loan for the price of the house that you're trying to purchase.
Okay.
Yeah.
We should put
Yeah,
that
I'm
in our
gonna go see-
glossary.
Yeah.
There's a meetup in town, which is here in where I live in Puerto Rico. So Pace is going to be there, and
You're in Puerto Rico. Go visit him. He's doing a meetup. Go there. Do you need to
And-
know where it is?
I know where it is. I
Okay,
already got-
good. Go there. If Pace is ever in any of your towns and he says sub 2 meetup, that does not mean it's only sub 2 students. Like he loves to go visit you guys. Let them know that you're in the elephant challenge. Be like, I'm in so-and-so's group. And he loves to hear that, like that people are taking action and then music to his ears. So go say hi to him. Introduce yourself. Take a picture.
I will. Thanks.
That's awesome.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming, Mario.
I got a quick question for the chat. I'm not sure. It doesn't really go in, the agent thing, but yeah, I just had a quick question.
Hold on. Raise your hand. Who's that? Ricardo talking?
That's Jack.
No. Yeah.
Who's
This
talking?
is Jack.
Okay.
This is Jack. Yeah, I don't have my video on, but yeah, I don't want to put it on.
So
yeah.
you don't have to, but raise your hand. We're just going to go in order. Or you can put it in the
Okay.
chat if you want.
Okay.
And Jen will answer as we talk.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. What's up, Ricardo?
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, Carl, I'm so anxious to drop my baby elephant status and maybe go to junior elephant status.
Yay!
I'm working day and night. It's so stressful.
Good for
But
you.
It's like trench warfare, making some advances, a little bit. So I'm working on two fronts, which is I'm calling agents. and I am calling expired MLS lists.
Good.
So I have 3 MLS expired lists I'm going to call later in the afternoon. They reply, they want to negotiate, they want to talk about their deals. So I'll see what's up with them this afternoon. But what the agents, I always follow up because they are not aware of seller financing or confused about creative financing. So I follow up with an email asking if it's okay. I follow up and I give them a PDF saying, this is how it's structured, this is how it works. I'm just trying to give another option for your seller. And if it's not for the seller, and if you have anything else that fits this criteria, reach back to me, because we are buying a lot of properties in the area, and we are the buyer for you if you have something that might be, available for seller finance or subject to. Is that a cool way to kind of keep the contact? Is it, very nice, polite, just educating them a little bit?
That's perfect. That's amazing. So you're kind of, and you can also reach out to, when you're doing agent outreach, you can be like, and I was going to say this with Mario, because you guys are still doing agent outreach and you guys also want to focus on expireds. That's okay. Be like, hey, do you have any listings that expired that you'd have? Or maybe if you guys like Dustin was like, I met a really, he's a unicorn agent. He gets it. Like, if you guys have good rapport, be like, do you think I could get expired listings from you? Because it's all a MLS thing. So absolutely. Those are great. Those are going to be more direct to seller instead of direct to agent, which we're focusing on, but we can kind of jump around. I just saw Pace post a poll and he's like, he's been telling me it's going to be direct to agent for the last month. He just posted, he's like, what should we do the next elephant challenge on? So you never know with Pace. It's like, he'll start it and it's like, we're moving, we're changing, we're pivoting. So we can, direct seller could be something we could do later too, because it's a lot of the same things.
Yeah.
It's just harder to get a hold of them.
Yeah. I had a lead I didn't submit to you because when I looked at your buy box, it said no HOA, and I go, oh my God. But I want to ask a question about this because this is an old man in Florida. I asked him, why is he selling? He said, I don't like Florida. I've never been to Florida. I don't like that place. He was really angry. And I go, why? And he said, make me an offer. And I go, wait a second, dude, slow down. Let me ask you a few questions. You're going to make an offer or what? I go, okay, slow down. So the PITI would be $700 if he does seller finance, $707. And the apartment is worth $145. I said, okay, do you want a cash offer? We can pay 70 right now, or we can do seller finance for higher, and you're getting interest on top of that. It's 707, but the HOA is 500. However, has a golf course. However, I went to rentcast.io. It says I can rent for 2,400. He said, no, nothing is needed, is ready to move in. So I'm like, okay, if it costs me $1,200 and I can rent for $2,400, I have $1,200 to work with, even with the HOH. Is that a bad deal? Why would that be a bad deal? Because of the HOA is there, hanging like a sword of Damocles, but it has some margin there.
Yeah, that's why it's a whole different animal when you're doing direct to seller. Agents aren't going to be like, are you going to make an offer or what? So that's why we're focusing on direct to agent and with our tradings, because we don't want to go all over the place. But if you want to practice, go to FSBOs, for sale by owners. Those are the best ones to practice direct to sellers. They're probably likely not selling to you or to anyone unless you give them $1 million for their house that's worth 200,000. But yeah, it's just a whole different angle and a whole different beast when you go to direct to sellers. It's a lot more rapport building and different communication styles. And it depends on their motivation. So you got to really pin in on their motivations. So And if you want to submit something to us, we can help talk to them. They're a lot. They got to be super motivated. And you just got to talk to them different.
On that too, though, because Ricardo, you said Carly's buy box. So I wouldn't pay attention to that because that's different from the elephant challenge. That would be like her personally. Whereas like with the elephant challenge, submit all your leads because we have thousands of buyers that we can dispo the properties to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And someone said my buy box was Idaho. Yes, I might buy in Idaho. Jen or I could buy these deals from you. We're like, that's something we'd want. Yes, please. We could, but I would focus on buy boxes that are mostly where there's a lot of buyers.
Okay. Just one quick last thing. You said, okay, Texas is a great market, right? Texas, looking into Austin. My sister lives there. But I noticed that Austin, the prices dropped 10%, like still dropping. So how do we manage that? It's a great time to buy, right? When the prices are dropping, right? Because the investors, like, you're buying, the prices are dropping, go, it's a great deal. That's the time to buy and buy and hold. How do you manage?
Austin's really got overinflated because Tesla moved there. How many people moved there? I just can think of Tesla off the top of my head. Amazon, like, it's the new Silicon Valley, kind of. So all these people are making tech money and they're like, oh yeah, I'll pay $500,000 for your $200,000 house because I can. And it's nothing for me. And then it gets overinflated and then a recession hits and then people lose their jobs and they're like, shit, I just overpaid by 300 grand on this house in Austin. And so Austin's a little different market. Yes, it's dropping and it is continuing to drop. So you want to buy it right. You don't want to be like, well, this house is really valued at 300,000 and they bought it at 500,000, but they're going to take a loss at it at 100,000. Is it still a deal? So you really have to look at the deal too. But yeah, that's a good question. Great questions for you guys. Okay. We have 5 minutes left. Laura, what's up? And then we'll do Stacy real quick and then we'll be done.
All right. Okay. So that deal that I sent to you, I submitted back on about 2020 Piper Drive in Charleston. They, I got a Redfin notification that they dropped the price another $10,000. So I want to know if you called them or not.
No, I know. And that's what I was just saying. I was going to, and then I was sick and I like literally slept for 4 days.
Oh my
goodness. And I'm finally yesterday just started feeling like a human. So that's what I'm doing. Today and tomorrow is just playing catch up with everything. Because you should hear from me soon.
I hope you feel better because those things, when you get like sick, it drains you so much you can't even think or anything. So just get a lot of rest and vitamins and all that stuff. So
I called one agent yesterday and I'm like, or on Monday, and I was like, I am not on my game and I should not be calling agents right now. And then I was like, my husband's like, put down the phone and sleep. Like, I did call one agent and I put in one LOI and then I'm like, I need to be at my A game for this. And then, so we're also getting, Julie Daniels isn't here. I think I saw her husband, Rick, is here. They're on our team. She's going to help be calling on things. So our goal, you guys have been waiting a long time and thank you for bearing with us. We got our CRM set up, which is where you submit it to. And then I got sick and it's just, we're working out the kinks. So we're getting more people on our team and we want to get these called within the same day that you guys submit them. So thank you for being patient with us. And I appreciate you. It shouldn't be like this forever.
But the good news, they went down 10 grand in the interim.
Did go down 10 grand. So maybe it's a good thing.
Okay.
So, okay. Right. We'll go call them. I'll call them today and tomorrow and you'll hear from us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Hi, Stacy. Welcome.
Hey, thank you so much. And I'm super new, so like a week or 2 weeks in. Yay. So bear with my question. I've been eyeing a property that's been on the market.
Oh no, did she freeze for you guys?
Yeah.
Stacy, come back. Turn off your camera. Sometimes that works. No.
Darn.
See if I can ask her to turn off her video. Sometimes I can ask him to turn it on. Let's see if that works. I only think she can. Oh, we lost Stacy. Shoot. If she comes back, we'll do it. We just have like 4 more minutes. When does the next elephant challenge start? Says Trent. That's a fantastic question. We'd all like to know that. So Pace, we keep asking Pace. I keep asking Pace and he doesn't respond. He's just busy, and it's good that he's busy, and he's over there. Like, if you're a Gator, you saw that he closed a deal with a billionaire yesterday. He's like making shit happen for the community. So it's good that he's busy, but I want you guys to know that the elephant challenge is always going. A lot of people are like, Pace is the main attraction, and he always will be, and he is the best teacher of them all. But a lot of people think the elephant challenge only happens when Pace is elephant challenging. So it's always going on. We have leaders doing this. I know he's the main attraction and everybody wants to see Pace. So I'm trying to get him locked down for you guys. It was the beginning of August and it was the end of August, and he's a busy bee. So it's good. It's good that he's busy. He's bringing lots of opportunities to his communities. But Desiree says, I'm watching the April Elephant Challenge. You guys can go watch the old ones. I just want you to know it's not required to get into a group because they kind of jump around and there's long and they're a lot. So love that you're watching them. Don't feel like you have to. And we're happy you guys are here. Did Stacy come back? Shoot.
I don't think so.
Okay, next time, Stacy. Well, okay, one more question for Walter, and then we got a jet. We have 1 minute left. What's up, Walter?
What's going on, Carly? How you doing? I hope
Hi.
you're feeling better.
Thank you. I'm starting to.
That's good. So, I have a situation with a seller, right? She's in pre-foreclosure. Her husband was actually handling all the finances to where as though he passed away. So they have no access to the mortgage statements. She doesn't even know what bank they're with. So we tried to reach out to a bank, to talk to, somebody to see if we can help. Come to find out that was the wrong bank.
Okay.
So how would you go about this situation?
First of all, if the husband died, you want to make sure that she can sell the house. It might have to go through probate. I don't know. So you want to make sure she can sell the house. 1, 2, go to Privy. I think Privy, you can ask us. We can go to PropStream. You can go to Privy. You can find out. We can find out. It's not so you never know how correct this is, but those can tell you who the mortgages are through and how much they are.
Okay.
So
we
do you want to give me an address? Direct message me so not everybody sees it, so it protects your situation. Do you want to direct message me in the chat? The
Yes,
address, and I will tell you what I can find real quick.
Okay. I have to search for it. So if you don't mind, I will, I can send it to you and
Send
you
it to
can look
me.
at it.
Instagram
chat.
DMs are the best way to get a hold of me.
Okay,
Because
sweet.
Facebook goes into junk sometimes and I can't see it. And then the Elephant Challenge, they get bare. I send an automatic message and people just reply thank you. So I don't get a lot of messages into the Elephant Challenge messages. If you just DM me that, I'll go look it up and I'll send you a screenshot of what it says.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming, Walter.
No problem.
Thanks for coming, everyone. Next Friday at noon, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Bring
Thanks for
leads to call.
coming. Way to take action. Your guys' homework is to go. My homework is to get you guys a getting started guide. Find agents. Go just find a list. And maybe next time I keep saying this, we'll call agents. And we'll make calls so you guys can see how to make calls for the newbies. Thank you for coming. Please come back. If you come back and take action, you guys are it'll be worth it. And if you don't like us, go to someone else.